We have reached the end of our journey, the final episode of Location, Location, Location. That is, at least until I can scavenge some extra characters worth mentioning for another episode. But I think in these 10 I managed to talk about just about every character people have been wanting or anticipating for Smash. That was one criteria I had while making my list. They had to have at least some kind of possibility to be in Smash, whether that be big or small. I think any characters beyond this, if I were to make any more episodes, would just be filled with characters either with no chance of joining Smash like Ellie from Last of Us, or irrelevant characters from already represented franchises like Dry Bones as a fighter. So for that reason, I don't think I'll be making any more episodes of this series unless I come up with like 5 more characters I feel like actually have a chance to get in Smash. So with that in mind, let's get to the final 5 characters. Okami is that game that I see every so often, and how could you not? It's been ported to so many platforms over so many generations of consoles, that I keep saying to myself, maybe I'll play it now, but just have never gotten around to it because new games keep coming out. If I ever start streaming on Twitch or Mixer, well never mind. If I ever start streaming on Twitch, maybe I'll tackle it as part of my backlog. Honestly, I want Amaterasu in Smash not so much for the character, but for the stage, so it's kind of perfect for this series. Imagine Okami's art style being used for a stage. I honestly have no idea what they would use in terms of an actual stage, from the little I have seen of the game. For some reason I'm imagining something similar to the Garden of Hope stage, a big environmental area, but whatever it ends up being, we all know it would be gorgeous because of this famous art style. I know the Okami fanbase is super hardcore, so if you are one of them, please leave some more suggestions in the comments. I mean, Okami's art style is so unique that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 kept its art style intact for the character, even if it did end up clashing with everyone else. Now that's dedication. When it comes to R-rated characters in Smash like Snake and Bayonetta, and people's wants like Doom Guy, Master Chief, and Dante, one that gets sometimes overlooked is Travis Touchdown from the No More Heroes games. And it seems like a no-brainer since the games have been primarily on Nintendo consoles outside of one spin-off game, and hell, the creator of Travis Touchdown, Suda51, and Sakurai himself are good friends. It's honestly surprising that Travis isn't already in. It might have something to do with his M rating of blood and gore and swearing, but hey, so did Bayonetta. So where would Mr. Touchdown be taking us once he inevitably joins the roster? Is there any other location than his home of the No More Heroes Motel, where Travis lives, and this location has appeared in every game of the franchise? They could go for a more bold route and base it off somewhere new in the new upcoming No More Heroes 3 game, but for the moment I think basing it in the parking lot of the motel is much more akin to the game and Travis's character as representation for Smash, giving it a feel much like Mementos with Joker. What else could go into the parking lot of this motel is up to the fans of the series to say, since I have yet to play any myself. Hell, I only heard of the character in games only a few years ago. But man, am I interested and would hope we get some kind of like HD collection ported over to Switch so we can play all the other games leading up to No More Heroes 3. Oh boy, here he is, the big purple man himself, Waluigi. I actually originally didn't have him on my list, but when I decided to make 10 episodes instead of 9, he was a part of the extra 5 I scoured around to fill in the slots. So coming up with a stage for Waluigi presented an interesting challenge since there are already so many Mario-based stages in Smash, and Waluigi doesn't have his own series of games like Wario does. But then I remembered what Waluigi represented. He was created to be Wario's tennis partner, and is primarily only in the Mario spin-off games like all the sports and karting and board gaming. And we don't have any stages based on any of those, only the mainline Mario games. So a stage possibly based off Waluigi's initial reveal makes the most sense, that being from Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64. Or maybe something more recent, like a stage based off an arena from Mario Tennis Aces, since that game sold pretty well too. How would you make a fighting stage based off a tennis arena? I don't know. Maybe another boring floating platform stage, but also maybe fighting on the actual tennis arena itself, and the tennis net could be some kind of obstacle. Not to mention flying tennis balls as projectiles. I think possibly something inspired from the single-player story from Aces could work too, since all of those arenas have special and unique characteristics to them, such as Petey Piranha or mirrors that shoot tennis balls at you. I just realized while writing this script that so many of the final characters of this series are all characters from M-rated games. Oops. I didn't space them out well among the episodes, I guess. If I had to rank all of the characters we have done in this series, I'd say Kratos is probably the least likely character out of all of them to be joining Smash, even further down than like Ratchet and Clank. But him being pretty much the face of modern Sony and PlayStation, it would make some sense if Sony did play ball for Smash, he'd be up for consideration. And they would want to use the latest older dad version of the character since, well, God of War 5 is probably around the corner sometime. So if this god-killing man were to join Smash, what would he bring? Based on the latest outing in God of War 4 for the PlayStation 4, and its new Norse mythology setting, an easy setting would be the Lake of the Nine Realms, a place you visit quite often in the game, and sort of acts as almost a hub world for the game. Probably one of the more recognizable locations in the game since you revisit it so much to go to other places. Would be super easy to make this map too, have the high elevated platform above the water, maybe some boats could come floating in, and of course the showpiece of having Jormungandr chilling in the background watching the fights happen. The background could even shift, giving different locations such as the various realms that give other scenery in the background. And to think of all the amazing music that would be included in this stage, that orchestral score though. The granddaddy of crazy Smash predictions himself, Master Chief. The idea of Master Chief being in Smash just seems so odd to me, but the fact that it even is a possibility is mind-blowing. I honestly do believe he has a legitimate shot ever since we got Banjo. And he probably is my most wanted Smash character, even passing Sora, though they are in two different categories. Master Chief is my most wanted character out of characters where the idea of them being in Smash is so far out there and doesn't seem fitting, while Sora is my most wanted character for Smash that does seem like he would fit right into Smash. Anyway, if Nintendo and Microsoft were to break the internet by having Chief finish the fight in Smash, what stage would he bring? I gave a lot of thought into this, probably more than any other character in the series, and honestly was probably one of the hardest too. I think a lot of people would gravitate to a famous multiplayer map like Blood Gulch because of its iconic status, but there's really not a lot to work with there in terms of a Smash stage. Plus, I don't think they would want to include anything with blood in its name. But then I remembered Halo Infinite is coming, and I waited on using Master Chief in these videos because I knew a look into the game was coming eventually. And yeah, a stage based on something from Halo Infinite almost seems inevitable. And as of right now, all we have for locations in Halo Infinite is the new Zeta Halo that the game takes place on. There might be more of an interesting location in the game on the Zeta Halo that we haven't seen yet that would work, but since we don't know any of that yet, going back to my original idea of something from the original Halo trilogy just works for now. I came up with the stage using based on the Pillar of Autumn since that is where you start your journey as Master Chief, so a space stage with maybe some attacks from the Elites and the Covenant happening. I don't know, it's kind of wonky because I don't want you fighting out in space, kind of like Lilac Cruz, so it has to be like inside the Pillar of Autumn. Another idea would be the mission on the Ark Citadel where the Flood are released. Having a stage being overrun by Flood would definitely make for an interesting stage hazard, but nonetheless it would most likely, definitely, probably be a stage based on the new location in Halo Infinite. And there we go, the last 5 characters totaling 50 across 10 episodes discussing their stage possibilities. Thank you all for tuning in. It was actually pretty fun thinking about all these characters and thinking outside the box for what kind of stage either best works or best represents them. I don't think I'll be making any more episodes as I think I covered most of the fan favorites and most wanted characters. I don't know what I'll be doing next on my channel. I still love talking about Smash, so I may do some moveset potential for some favorite characters of mine, as I have a lot of ideas for them. If you would like that, please be sure to let me know in the comments. Other than that, I want to take a stab at just some normal playthroughs of some games, so we'll see where that goes in the upcoming future. Also, like I shamelessly plugged near the beginning of this video, I may start looking into streaming on Twitch once I get some things sorted out, so we'll see on that too. I hope you enjoyed this escapade into Smash speculation, and if you did, for the last time of this series, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see what I do next. Have a good one.